Hey everybody, what's up? So I just wanted to make this quick live about frustration with weight loss and counting calories and not getting results, because it's super hard. It's super frustrating if you're not getting the results and you're watching what you eat and you're having an issue, like you're not getting the results. You step on the scale, it's not going anywhere. Sometimes it goes the other way. You're hitting the gym, like all these issues that we go through, right? And you're frustrated, you're feeling like lack of motivation. Sometimes you're not feeling super motivated or disciplined. Maybe you've given in some stress eating. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff, right, that come along with weight loss, and you're wanting to feel good in your clothes. You don't want to be uncomfortable in your skin anymore. Your energy may be low, right? And you're feeling exhausted, number one, physically because of the weight problems and the energy issues that come along with that. But you're feeling exhausted from all the energy you're putting out and you're not getting any results. And I've been there. I know that it's super hard. So I wanted to make this really fast and just talk about why that happens and really one quick concept and how to actually fix that. The easiest way to do that. So a lot of times, especially when it comes to calories in, calories out, here's why it doesn't actually work. There's a difference between calories and nutrients, right? So there's what's called energy density and nutrient density. Energy density just means how much energy or calories are in a food, a particular amount of food. Nutrient density is how many nutrients, the nutritional makeup of any amount of food, right? So the example that I always give is like soda. It's very energy dense, lots of calories, but very nutrient deficient. It's very void of nutrients. There's nothing in it that's actually good for you. And so a lot of times when we count calories, we ignore this factor. We think as long as I'm in a deficit, as long as I'm eating less than I'm burning, then I'll be fine. I'll lose weight. Well, that's not actually true, because when you become nutrient deficient, your body starts to break down. And nutrient deficiencies at a cellular level become very toxic for your body. They actually produce radiation, which breaks down cellular function. And when that happens, your body starts to break down in all areas. And it leads to immune problems, heart disease, cancers, all sorts of stuff, right? But also weight gain. It's like saying to a tree, if the leaves on a tree turning brown were like weight gain for us, then it would be like saying in the soil of this tree, there's not enough nutrients, or there's only certain nutrients coming in, or the nutrients aren't very good, so the leaves start turning brown. Well, for us, that's just weight gain. Our leaves turning brown for us as humans is weight gain. So that's something that is really important to understand, is the difference between nutrient and calorie density. Because most of the time, most trainers and fitness worlds, they're going to tell you, get in there, exercise, eat a bunch of rice, eat your bread, eat your carbs, or eat your proteins, all these different things, but they're not actually looking at the micronutrient content. They're only looking at macros, proteins, fats, and carbs, but they're not looking at the micronutrient density, right? So if you look at sweet potatoes, for instance, that's a common one. It's way more nutrient dense than rice, way less issues with it than rice, right? And that's just an example. So that's one of the reasons why people become so frustrated. And there's a whole list of things. There's I talk about this in a lot of my videos, but there's basically about 7 or 8 different things that are overlooked reasons for weight gain. Hormone imbalances, gut problems like food intolerances, poor digestion is another one. Infections in your body, stress, toxins, of course, slow metabolism, and insulin problems and inflammation. Those things, I just went through a whole list there, and of course, I'm not going to break them all down in this video because it would take an hour to do that. Maybe I'll do that another time on a webinar or something, but each of those things are going to actually cause your body to want to store fat. And if you try to lose that fat, it's never going to want to do that because it doesn't feel good about it. Your body is all about optimizing your ability to survive. So if your body doesn't feel good about surviving, it's not going to let your body release the fat. And so if your body is just trying to be in a deficit and you're counting your calories and you're exercising in the gym and you're not seeing the results, it's probably because you're nutrient deficient. You probably have some hormone imbalances. You're causing more stress on your body because of you're being in a deficit and you're on the treadmill and you're sending signals to your brain that you're running from a tiger when you think you're sending signals that I'm supposed to be losing weight, but your brain doesn't perceive it like that. And there's all these other things going on, right? These toxins and all this stuff that's happening that makes it really frustrating to lose weight and not see results. And that's why you're not actually seeing results. And I always like to touch on the why because I think that's super important for people to understand that so that you can know how to actually improve that, how to actually get the results you want. So the key is to then focus on nutrient density. This is what I do in my program. My whole program is built around it, is focusing on nutrient density and addressing those 7 or 8 major issues that are overlooked that cause weight gain. We help the body detox. We help the body have all the nutrients it needs. We help it reduce the inflammation in the body, balance out those hormones and blood sugars. We improved gut health and digestion. All those things that are overlooked oftentimes. In fact, nobody's really talking about those things. And if they are, I want to talk to them because that's awesome, and I want to know who they are. I know a lot of doctors out there. There's kind of a movement to look at root cause, which is awesome. That's what we need to be looking at to lose weight. So if you're not looking at the root causes, then you need to be looking at the root causes. If you're trying to lose weight without looking at root causes, it's like trying to grow a tree and not using soil and water. It's like giving it sunlight and putting it in concrete, pouring orange juice on it, thinking, hey, this is going to work great. And you might see something happen. I don't know. You might see some growth or whatever. And for you, the analogy goes, you might lose a few pounds, 10, 20, maybe 30, depending on how much you have to lose. You might even lose 50 or 100 pounds. But eventually it starts to stop. The plateau happens, right? And then you start to gain the weight back the other way. And you gain the weight back on. And that can happen over a 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 year period because you're not actually addressing those root cause problems. So that is one of the big issues there. So Jolynn says, how do you get an older, set in his ways farmer who loves burger, fries, meat and potatoes into a more nutritious way of eating? He has some back issues, so exercise is very limited. Awesome question, Jolene. So this is right along the topic. We can talk about this for a second. I don't have anybody exercise in my program, just so you know. I don't believe that exercise is needed for weight loss, and I have lots of data to back that up as far as research, but also hundreds of clients that none of them exercise for 6 weeks and they lose 20 to 45 pounds during that 6 weeks. That's the average. If it's a male, they're going to lose more. I mean, I've had some men lose 60, 70, 80 pounds in 6 weeks. I've had some women lose 40, 50, or 60 pounds in 6 weeks. So exercise is not needed. So let's just throw that out. But I have burgers and fries and I have meat and potatoes all the time, just so you know. It's about the way you do it. So burgers and fries from McDonald's is different than what I'm eating, of course. We make burgers, we make our own fries though. Whether we're frying them, we use like coconut oil, or we bake them, like sweet potatoes or normal potato fries. Meat and potatoes is great. Just make sure you have good quality. Remember, it's not about the quantity alone. In fact, that's actually very little of it. It's about the quality coming into your body. So I'll give you an example here. Meat, let's take a hamburger for instance. Meat that a cow was raised on grass is very different than a cow that was raised on corn or grain, as we would call it. Grain-fed versus grass-fed, right? So the nutrient density inside these two different hamburgers is going to be completely different. The chemical makeup of these two things are going to be completely different. The omega-3 and 6 ratios are going to be completely different. And the grass-fed, the grass-fed was over here, grain-fed is going to be terribly bad for you, and grass-fed is going to be very good for you. So the key is then to learn how to eat the nutrient-dense foods and get the best quality of them. Because actually, so here's a funny, interesting thing. If you look at scales, there was a study that they did. They looked at all of the nutrients listed in the USDA's, I can't remember where they pulled it from, like nutrient guides or whatever. They looked at all the nutrients of foods, and the foods that had the most nutrients and that the nutrients were the most available for humans was meat, and specifically organ meat. That was at the top of the list. Fish and shellfish are there. Cacao, which is it's how they make chocolate, essentially. They ferment the cacao. That's actually pretty high as well. So meat is actually very high on the list. You just have to get the right kind. And then, potatoes and sweet potatoes are too. Those are awesome. So, if that was all you're eating, throw some spinach in there, whatever. But anyway, those are some tactical things. But the real key, Jolynn, is he has to have a why. You can change. I've had a lot of women typically who start my program, they do the program, they change, and then their husbands see results as well, just by osmosis of being around them and eating what they're eating. So learning how to eat nutrient-dense foods is really important to bring that into your home. Sometimes there's a bit of you can't control what he does outside the home. That's the same with our kids. We just do the best we can. But there's also the why component, and I think that's a huge issue or huge component is why. Why do we want to change? We can't change anybody, of course. They have to have their own why to do that. So super important for that as far as the why. But there's also some tactical things as far as just get it in your home. Get the bad stuff out, get the right stuff in your home, get the good quality stuff in your home. So you don't have to exercise. My weight stays the same regardless of if I exercise or not. So that's something that is super important for that. So hopefully that's helpful. And that's right along with our conversation. So that's a great question there. So awesome. Well, hopefully it's been helpful for you guys. I would love to answer any questions. If you guys have any more, feel free to comment below. And also, if you're looking for more help, of course, too, go ahead and let me know. I'd love to. That's what I teach in my program. And here's the really cool thing. You can have treats and snacks and go out to eat and all that stuff and still make it nutrient dense so that it doesn't compromise your health. Like an example is we made a chocolate pecan tart this last weekend. And I probably had 3/4 of it. And it's nice big size. It's kind of like a pecan pie. And I probably had 3/4 of it. And as an experiment, I got on the scale the next day and nothing was different. No weight gain. And I've been doing that for often, probably multiple times a week, once a week at least, multiple times a week for many years now. And I've been able to maintain, my weight loss and maintain the weight. So that's the beauty of you focus on nutrient density rather than energy density. And that kind of thing, it's a huge difference in outcome, 100% difference in outcome as far as the results. So stop focusing on the energy coming into your body as far as how much of it, start focusing on the quality of what's coming into your body, and that will actually help you get faster results. And exercise isn't needed for that. That's the interesting thing and the really cool thing. So hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any questions or if you need some help particularly. You can reach out to me. Love to chat with you, see if there's an opportunity to help you reach your goals. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good night.